I should introduce myself formally. I'm Andrea Jones. I'm Head of Undergraduate Programmes here at the Royal Welsh, and so I look after the BMus course. Thank you very, very much for joining us today. It's lovely to have you with us. And joining me today are 5 of our fantastic students who I'd like to hand straight over to so they can talk to you a little bit about their experiences of studying here at the college and give you a flavour of what to expect if you were to join us as well. So the first person I'd like to hand over to, please, is Catherine, Kat, and who is in the brass department. Over to you, Kat.
Hello, I'm Kat. I'm a trombonist in the classical department, but I've been asked to speak about my involvement with the jazz department as well. So in first year and then COVID hit, I was mainly sticking to classical and was just doing that sort of stuff. And then at the start of last year, so at the start of third year, I got asked to be in the big band that they do at college, which is run by a man called Kerry Reese, who is very funny and a wonderful man. So if you ever get to work with him, I would definitely recommend it. But since then, since joining the big band, I've been a lot more engaged in the jazz side of stuff as well. So, for example, me and a trombonist who is on the jazz course, we've started a little duo with a rhythm section, and we get some gigs with that. And then also in a couple of other sort of small jazz ensembles at uni, which you get lots of performance opportunities to play with. So there's on Friday nights they do the Jazz Times in the foyer at college, which is open to the general public, and there's normally 2 ensembles, 2 different sets that play in that. So those are very popular with both the students and like the general public as well. And you get lots of performance opportunities with that and with the big band in college. But by picking up those performance opportunities and working with the ensembles in college, you get you get your name out there a little bit, and then you get professionals that are in the industry, jazz professionals, sort of calling you up and asking you to pay for their bands and stuff. And you've just got to say yes to everything. So like, I'm moving back to Cardiff tomorrow for a gig in Barry, and then I've got 2 next week as well. So you pick up a lot of performance opportunities in college and outside of college as well, which is really good. And then you get to build connections with those people as well. But within college, it's really accommodating. So when you're in 4th year, you get to choose who you want your lessons with and what teachers you're having. So in September, I'm doing half my lessons with my classical teacher that I've had for the last 3 years, and then half my lessons with the jazz trombone teacher at college. So you get the best of both worlds, and you get to explore both avenues without completely disregarding one or the other. And college have been really accommodating with that. Like if you want to stick just the classical, which quite a few people do, then you've got the opportunity to do that. But if you want to explore the other avenues and work with different departments, then college are really good at accommodating for that. So yeah, that's me basically.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Kat. That was really really sort of insightful into the extra things around your kind of core opportunities that you can make the most of. So thank you. And I'd like to move on now, please, to open the floor to Laurie, who is in the vocal department. Over to you, Laurie. Thanks.
Hello. Yeah, I'm in the vocal department. I've been asked to speak about some of my experiences in that department. And I think all of the people speaking here today, the students, are moving into 4th year, and I'm included in that. It's just going so quickly, and there's so much to do, so much to get involved with, and I really wish it was continuing for much longer, but fortunately it's not. But some of the things we've been able to do, they have lots of choral opportunities in the chamber choir that you audition for, and a lot of choral conducting master classes that you can get involved with, which has really been helpful for me especially, because I wasn't the strongest sight reader when I came to the college, but they're really supportive for people who are still in development in that sort of area, which has been amazing for me. And just the overall experience of the department has been really one of support and just like it really feels like a growth area where everybody wants you to succeed, and you will succeed because people are willing you to, and as long as you engage with it, then that's what will happen. We've also had a lot of opera projects going on. Some of them are student led. There's a program called REPCO, which I think is called, I've got it written down here, Repertory by Entrepreneurial Performers Company, which is where students are given the opportunity to set up like their own productions with support from staff at the college, and so we've done some various early operas through that, and it's just great to get involved and work collaboratively with your colleagues in that capacity. And that's also, some of it is a part of the vocal department's stuff rather than the REPCO, because they're assessments for directors and core conducting students, things like that. So there's lots of opportunities to get involved. But I think that the most important thing, if I give any advice to anybody who's coming to join, is that I really think that there's a lot of opportunity that is there for you through the college. But the most important opportunities for me, I found, have been signing up to things that I wasn't necessarily that comfortable with. For example, there's a lot of dance that I've done in different operas and projects. I'm totally uncomfortable with dancing, but honestly, I've learned so much. It's been so much fun. They do movement as a part of the course, and often the teachers who do movement and drama and the sort of supporting ones like languages, they'll come along to projects that you're doing, and they'll help you to they'll come to an opera that you're performing in German or something, and then start to coach you along the way. So there's a lot of like involvement from different teachers in your main projects as you go, and then just being immersed in the world of art song, just constantly listening to singers all of the time, having fantastic teachers that tell you what you need to do and give you ideas and inspire you to continue doing what you're doing. And then also on the other side of the spectrum, doing a bit of choral singing in quite strictly choral sense, and then also having the opportunity to start to do some opera before our young voices mature. It's got the range here, and I really think that they do it in a quite well balanced way, and it's very encouraging. So yeah. That's what I want to say.
Thank you very much, Laurie. And I know that you love dancing, really. I've seen you every Friday night in the bar dance. No, only joking. Okay. Thank you very much.
It's really good.
Different kind of dancing. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Right, okie dokie. Over now to the string department, and I'm going to hand over to Eden to talk to you a little bit about some of her experiences at college. Thanks, Eden.
Hi. So I'm like the others going into my fourth year, and I think I've found, although the string department is great, I promise, I've more engaged with professional studies modules. So these are modules that run alongside your performance training, and it's a really good chance to explore other things in the professional industry and things you might not have considered, and it's a very unique opportunity to try these things out. And after completing my third year, I found a module that I really liked, that some of you that I know were on the call earlier will probably know this, but I'm very interested in pursuing a career in arts orchestral management and music library work. And college have really facilitated me going out and doing placements with Manchester Camerata and WNA for the rest of this year. So some of the modules that kind of introduce these other pathways are things like teaching skills. Now, this is going to change for your year coming in, I think, but if I recount my experience, then hopefully it'll shed some light because they're not too dissimilar. it's kind of learning how to teach the way you want to. And I know that sounds weird, but I'm sure that we can all think of teachers that we've had that we've not liked. And this module helps you be the teacher you want to be. It teaches you how to deliver effectively, and it's not pushing one type of teaching. It's saying these are all your options and what do you find you like. And even if you don't think you want to go into teaching, which is fair, it's still a really good experience to fall back on, and it doesn't matter if you have no experience at all. And then on to the module that I really connected with, concert planning. We got to set up in a group a whole concert day, which was really nice to see an actual product of our efforts. And you also get to do a placement in academic services, which is orchestral management and librarian. And I got to work with String Soloists, which is the college's audition string group, which is an amazing opportunity to collaborate with different artists such as the Manchester Collective. And that was essentially how I got into it. And then I said to the college, well, give me more of this work, because this is definitely what I want to do. So in total, there are a ridiculous amount of modules covering from music psychology to biology to radio production, which is also a great module. And I guess, like Laurie said, I think just trying everything, even if it sounds like your comfort zone, because you never know what might appeal to you. You know, you don't know till you try it. I think that's all I have to say, apart from thank you to Student Support Services. Being a dyslexic and dyspraxic student, they've really facilitated me in my academic work and my performance work, and provide no end of support. It's a really, really great department.
Thank you very much, Eden. Thank you so much for that snapshot, and also for highlighting the, the fantastic student support that we do also have in college, that really, I hope, is tailor-made to enable every student to enjoy their course to the fullest and do their very best. So thank you for that. And then I'd like to move over to another department, please. We're over to the woodwind department now. So I'm going to invite Eleanor to just speak to us briefly about some of her experiences as a wind player on the BMus course. Over to you, Eleanor.
Hi, yeah, I'm Ellie. I'm a clarinetist, going into my 4th year as well. I'd say the main thing about the BMus course is that you come out of it as just a really well-rounded musician. So obviously, you've got your technique you want to improve, but on top of that, you just learn so much about the industry. And like Eden said, you get so many other sort of opportunities to pursue different paths in music. So you're not restricted just to the performance, which I know is really good for a lot of sort of my friends who don't particularly want to go into performance. I'm definitely set on going into performance myself, and it's just been like these past 3 years have just been great for it, really. Sort of stuff that's helped, we do performance classes, master classes, we've got departmental sessions, chamber music classes, and then your one-to-one lessons as well. I know that all of the one-to-one teachers here are just amazing. They're just so good, so supportive as well, which is the main thing. And yeah, it's really helped me get my technique to where it needs to be. So now I'm ready to sort of move into the professional world. Also really good thing about the course is the number of visiting musicians we have come in. So we've had the RPO who did a concert at St David's Hall, and the head of woodwind, Rob Plain, managed to get the section principals sort of in and doing classes with all of us, which was just amazing. She just learned so much from these people. We also work very closely with BBC National Orchestra of Wales and Welsh National Opera as well. So my first teacher, Lenny Sayers, was bass clarinetist in BBC National Orchestra of Wales, and he really taught me, as well as technique, he taught me about sort of life in an orchestra, and it's just great to have that. Also, going into my 4th year, we have the option to audition for the orchestral placement scheme. So it gives you a chance, if you're successful, it gives you a chance to actually sit next to professional musicians and experience that. So yeah.
Fantastic, thanks Ellie. That's really great, sort of little snapshot of the rich and various ways that performance is just, you can shape it to your own interest, can't you, and focus. Brilliant, thank you very much. Okay, so last but very much not least, I'd like to hand over to Clara to talk about some of her experiences on the course. Over to you, Clara.
Hi there, my name is Clara Greening. I'm in the vocal department with Laurie, and overall my experiences at the college and during this course have been really great. I think kind of what everyone's kind of said today about so many opportunities working within the college, and then having those links to work outside the college as well. I know a couple of people mentioned it already, but a couple of things I've enjoyed personally are the REPCO and collaborating with not just your department, being able to go, I think there's a Play the Love Doctor, being able to work with the actors and stuff, something I've never really done before. That was great. And then obviously, like Laurie said already, with the different operas they happen, sometimes you can put in the chorus or just little side parts. I think there was Venus and Adonis back in year 2. I think we all got to kind of do like little on stage cameos, which is like really great. It's a great experience, especially if you want to go into performing kind of things. And the academic side of it, when I came to college, I was very much nervous because I'm not very kind of like a academic textbook person, but the support from college and student services has been great in that aspect. I mean, they put on like study support sessions if like you're really struggling and stuff. It's been great. And the vocal department itself, I think everyone's kind of already said this, but doing the master classes or performance platforms and being able just to collaborate and make new ensembles with each other is it's great. Sorry, I've just seen a question pop up. Is it okay if I, just whilst I'm talking about it, if it's okay, I'll
go for it, Clara. So
in the course, I think in first year we had kind of like the more academic modules. So we had like musical context and enhanced performance. So we'd have to write a few essays. I think it was like 2 essays. We have lectures. I think it's a whole, every department kind of meets, and you have those lectures with James Lee, I think. And there's different topics you can write about and learn about, depending on what kind of takes your interest, really. I think that's kind of the thing.
Can I just say, for you guys here today joining us, thank you so much, Clara, for sharing those thoughts, and thank you too for sort of weaving in not just the performance side of things, but also those professional development and the academic skills that we want to support you to develop as well whilst you're here as a BMus student. I just want to say, Morgan, I will get back to you and I'll answer all of the questions as they come in when we get to the Q&A session, so please don't worry, I haven't forgotten your questions. But just to build on what Clara was saying, the academic modules that Clara was talking about, so these guys are on the current BMus course, and we've tweaked some of the modules in the latest revalidation, where we do a refresh every few years of the course. So some of the modules Clara's talking about have got a different name now, and Eden mentioned some modules too. All of that work, all of those professional skills development opportunities still exist. They just have maybe a slightly different title now. So just wanted to reassure you, musical context is going to be called Music and Society now. So we're going to be looking at a really broad range of different genres of music and different times in musical history, just to give snapshots of the musician embedded in society. So I can talk a little bit more about that later if anybody's interested. But thank you very much, Clara. That's fantastic, and thank you to everybody, students, for your contributions. Anybody want to add anything else before I move on to the next section? No? Students? No? Brilliant. Okay, so please, as I said earlier, feel free to jump in when we get to the Q&A. Great, okie dokie. So on to the next section now, if that's okay, everyone, and that's to talk a little bit about auditions in 2023. If any of you missed Kevin Price's audition session earlier today at 1:30, I think that has been recorded as well and is going to be added to the website in a few days' time. So if you want to sort of have a little bit more of an in-depth information session about audition processes, please do head over and have a look at that. Otherwise, I'm just going to give a little brief recap on the audition processes for 2023. So we're operating in a very slightly different way to pre-pandemic times, and I thought it might be worth just sharing a few details with you. Okie dokie. So once you've submitted your UCAS Conservatoires application to the college, the next stage will be for you to submit your recorded audition or portfolio, depending on whether you're a performer, singer, or a composer. So if you're an instrumentalist or singer, you need to submit an audition video, and if you're a composer, you'll need to submit to us an audition portfolio, please. At Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, we currently use Accepted as the portal for you to upload your audition recordings, portfolios, and also your documents, and you'll need to upload all of those things for us, please, through the Accepted portal by Friday the 21st of October. So that's the deadline for submitting those things. So there's two stages. First, make your UCAS application and then upload all of your relevant documentation and application video or portfolio to Accepted. Okay, you might want also to take a little bit of time just to read over the audition guidance and maybe familiarise yourself with some of the specific repertoire requirements for the instrument that you're applying for. Apologies for the dinging, I can't turn it off. The guidelines for our auditions and those specific requirements can be found on the website rwcmd.ac.uk/auditions. And I think, oh, there we are, Lisa has been super efficient. She's just popped that into the chat for you as well, if you'd like to take that. Thank you, Lisa. Brilliant. So, I mean, again, a very, very brief overview from me, but our advice to you is to really select repertoire that you're really comfortable with. Choose repertoire that, you have under your skin, that you can really show us your artistry. You feel confident to stand up and present. Don't try and stretch yourself a long way out of your comfort zone to show us something technically that's very challenging for you. What we want to see is something you're really comfortable with, so you can show us yourself, your personality, your creative voice. And we also would love for you to offer us two contrasting pieces of music, so different styles of music, different genres, as long as they're contrasting, and also as long as the repertoire you share with us is at least of sort of grade 8 standard. Now, somebody might be thinking, well, grade 8, ABRSM, grade 8, Trinity. Actually, if you're in any doubt at all, please ask for some advice or specific support with that. But around about grade 8 standard is the minimum standard we're looking for your audition pieces. Okie dokie, so your recorded audition, that should be an audio-visual file, please. And we would love you to begin with a very brief verbal account of your experience and your aims for the future. And it would also be great if you could include a short verbal introduction of each piece before you play it in your recording. The recording should show you performing clearly. And it's always a really good idea to dress in a way that reflects your professionalism. So, professional etiquette is something we take really seriously here at college. We work on it, we simulate professional environments, and we would love you to start your journey in that same way. So it's absolutely fine for you to use a mobile phone to record yourself. So please don't stress about expensive video recording equipment or professional videos. And there's really no need to obtain anything expensive for this purpose. But if you do use your phone to record your audition video, please can you turn it horizontally so that it's in landscape mode? That's the best way for us to view you. Okay, so when we receive those materials on Accepted, your audition video or your portfolio will be reviewed by the relevant head of department for the instrument, voice or composition that you are aiming for. Shortlisted instrumentalists and singers will then be invited to attend a further audition, either online or in person. So once we've gone through the first round of auditions, you'll hear from us and you'll be invited to either come in or do another online interview or audition. For composers, I don't know if we've got any composers with us today, but if you are successfully through the first round, then you will be called for an interview with the head of composition and creative music technology, and that will be online as well. So auditions and interviews for candidates usually take place on weekdays, Monday to Fridays, and they will happen at sometime between the 31st of October and the 9th of December 2022. So I should probably just recap on those dates. So it's Friday the 21st of October for applications and upload to accepted. And then the interview period, should you be chosen to go on to the second round, that will be the 31st of October to the 9th of December. So maybe some dates for the diary there. Okay, right, well, that's enough from me. If you have any other questions, quick questions about auditions, do please pop them in the chat, or of course look at that information on the website which I signposted you to. So, right, how are we doing for time? I think we might be on time. That's brilliant. Yes, thank you. Okay, so the rest of this session, everyone, is for questions. So Morgan, I'm going to start with Morgan's question. When do you get to choose modules? Okay, Morgan, good question. So as you know, a BMus course at a conservatoire is a 4-year course, and that is essentially because we have so much to squeeze into your undergraduate experience. So it's a longer course than a lot of university courses, but it gives you time, freedom to develop and actually explore all of those different things that the students were talking about. So in the BMus course, you start with core modules in years 1 and 2. So that means that everybody does those same core important modules across performance and also academic development or professional development. And then it's in the 3rd year of the course that you get to start selecting. So we always have core modules in performance or composition, of course. Being a conservatoire, that's what you would expect. So in years 1, 2 and 3, you will always have your principal study module. Again, because of the nature of who we are and the kind of course that we are here at a conservatoire, you will always have core modules in chamber music or collaborative working. So we call that module collaboration now, and that's a core module that runs across years 1, 2 and 3 as well. But then in the 3rd year, you get an option to choose 2 professional studies modules, and those are, as Eden I think said, there are loads of different modules to choose from. So you choose one for the autumn term of the course and one for the spring term of the course, and it gives you a chance to really get stuck in to a topic area or developing a new skill in a huge range of different sort of areas really. Students will also do some work on in 3rd year on developing their teaching skills. So again, going back to what Eden says, we've got engagement 3 in the 3rd year, which is where you'll do a little bit more deep work on teaching, but you can also choose optional modules in that as well if you want to. So that's 3rd year. That's when you start to get sort of dipping your toe into different waters. And then in the 4th year of the course, it's a completely free choice. So everyone that's here today is enjoying that freedom of choosing exactly what they want to focus on to showcase their interests, their strengths and their talents. So it becomes more and more optional as you go through the course. I do hope that that answers the question. It may have answered it slightly too fully, but I hope that tells you what you need to know, Morgan. Okie doke, right. Agatha, I think who was it that spoke a little bit? Was it Clara? Did you speak to Agatha's question a little bit? Yes. The academic side of the course, I'm going to just very, very quickly summarise. What we've tried to do in the revalidated BMus is to make even clearer connections for all the students between performance and principal study work and all of the other things that you do when you're not in your lessons or your one-to-one or you're playing your instrument. And I think that's really important because as a professional musician, you don't do things in compartmentalized ways. You use all of the skills, all of the tools, all of the things that you have in your, in your skill set, all at the same time. When you're a professional musician, you might be doing different activities, but you certainly don't do things separately. So what we try to do is make everything in the academic side of the course feel really relevant to developing your overall musicianship. So for instance, harmony and aural, and I think, who was it was it Laurie that talked about movement? Everyone will be doing movement. All of those things have been put together in the new course in a module called Integrated Musician. So it's a sort of trying to mix together and tie connections across between learning, secure rhythm and harmony understanding and aural skills, but actually using those in your principal study work. So you don't do a class on something and then forget about it and then go off and be a musician somewhere else. So I think the aim of the new course is very much to sort of, harmonise those aspects of activity. And I think that is probably enough for me to say at the moment, but all of the core academic work that you might expect to have will be present, but we're trying even harder than ever to make sure that also when you're assessed on those skills, that you're being assessed on real world things. So you're actually, rather than just doing an exam for exam's sake, you're going to be doing something practical that feels like it might do in the real world. Because we want you to feel what it's like. We want you to get well practiced in using those skills that you've learned and then applying them, so that you feel that much more confident when you get outside after you've done your degree. Okay, so I hope that's just a little flavour of how things will be. I'm very happy to answer more in-depth questions later on. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next question. Wendy, what are some examples of the lectures that you'll have? Right, that's a big one because we do so many different things. Should I take this one, guys? And students, just leap in if I've said anything wrong or stupid, or you think of something else. We will do. I'm going to talk about first and second year modules because that's where we often have the largest lectures, and we do that deliberately because we want to bring you together as a cohort. We want you to get to know one another and get that sense of kind of being a unit, being a team. So you'll find that actually in the earlier years of your course, you'll do more things in a big group, and then as you progress through, things become smaller into more seminar-sized groupings. But certainly going back to this idea of the musician in society, this module is something that we have morphed from the musical context module, and we will look at a range of different specialisms. So we're going to have different lecturers. So James Lee, somebody mentioned, is one of our core academic lecturers. He's a fantastically knowledgeable, incredibly interesting guy who also looks after your academic study skills side of things, so supporting you with the essay writing and knowing how to tackle academic work. But he also is a very, very knowledgeable lecturer and will deliver topics on a range of different genres, so things ranging from Beethoven all the way up to jazz things, to even looking at something like Stormzy. So we're looking at this concept of musicians and different repertoires, and actually all of the important things to do with the music, but also the people, also the social factors, all of the different things that made that music really special and distinctive. So for the first year that are just starting in September, they're going to be having lectures from eminent academics in French Baroque music, but also in electronic dance music. So different people will be contributing to that lecture series, talking about their area of musical expertise. So that's just a little kind of a taster of the kind of thing that you will be experiencing when you come and start in the sort of, the academic side of the course. So later on in the course, you'll be developing your kind of understanding of how to read academic books and work and how to tackle that, make sense of it, and actually gain confidence in interpreting that in your own words. And one of some of the new modules that will be coming in the third year will be sort of building on that way of working. So if you've loved doing the music and society modules in BMus 1 and 2, there will be an option for you to take it, say, well, this is the thing I love doing, I want to do a little bit more of that, a little bit like Eden was saying. And you can take an optional module in Music and Society 3 where you get involved in researching and writing and crafting your own kind of responses to music, academic music writing. So there's a whole host of different things. I could talk for a very long time, but I will definitely not do that. But yeah, just to say there's a huge variety of possibilities. But in the core modules of BMus 1 and 2, you will cover a wide range of musical genres and areas and periods of music. Great. Right, next question. Emily, is there a choir that instrumentalists can join? Okay, spoiler alert, guys. Oh, Laurie's going to jump in. Laurie, go for it.
I thought I could answer that one, yeah. I don't know if they're still doing it every year because for COVID we had some trouble trying to do it. But for every year so far, I think, apart from obviously the COVID year we couldn't, right at the start of the year, there's been a project called College Chorus, which I believe involves everyone, I think.
Am I allowed to, I'm so sorry, Laurie, because you don't necessarily know about this.
No.
But we've kind of ramped College Chorus up a little bit.
Oh,
and actually what the students coming in, so College Chorus, why don't you talk to us about how fun that was? And then I'm going to tell everyone about what's happening in September.
Okay, yeah, great. It was great fun. Just singers and designers and musicians from all over the place, all singing. I think we did in my first year. We did Fauré's Requiem, and everybody just comes into one choir and you know, gives it a good go. And to be fair, like most musicians have, you know, they have musicality and most of them are able to sing and hold a tune and really enjoy it. Everyone really seems to love it every time. Every time I've done something like that, they seem to enjoy it. I did want to say as well that I've been involved in choral projects and choirs where there have been people from other departments join us, where there's a lack in a position in the choir. And I think that some other people who've made themselves known to choral conducting teachers have said, like, hi, I want to do some choral singing, have often been given opportunities through doing that. So just stick your name out there and hopefully you'll get put into something.
Fab. Thanks, Laurie. That's brilliant. Actually, what we've also got to layer on top of all of that is in the integrated musician, which is one of the new modules, Emily, is our director of music, Tim Reasons. If you've heard of him or if you know about him, he's a very, very well-known choral trainer, Only Boys Allowed, the whole Allowed community, National Youth Choir of Wales. He is a fantastic choral director and a brilliant leader, music leader. He's going to be taking weekly choir sessions for everybody. So everyone across all the classical departments plus jazz, and me, if I'm allowed in as well, will be coming to do some choral sort of work every week as a way of kind of waking ourselves up, connecting, using our ears, using our collaborative skills, having some fun, actually doing, so it won't just be traditional, again, classical repertoire. It's going to be looking at a whole range of different genres, actually exploring some really fun things, and hopefully just setting off the week with a really fantastic physical opportunity to get cracking as a musician. So you'll definitely get a chance to sing as an instrumentalist. Thank you. Right, Patrick's question. Do composers still have many opportunities to play on their chosen instruments? Patrick, in a nutshell, yes, absolutely. So for composers, we've revisited the collaboration module, and you will also have an opportunity to work with instrumentalists a lot more. So there'll be a project where you work across a half term with an ensemble, using your skills, working with their skills, crafting some music for a performance. But you also have CoLab, which is run by one of the composition tutors, Mark Bowden. Fantastic weekly experience to get together with other composers, collaborate, perform, put stuff together, and be involved in the wider performance program if you would like to be. You'll have some regular composition department performance opportunities, Soundbar it's called, and also, of course, Repco opportunities are open to all composers as well to get involved in if you want to get something off the ground. You know, it doesn't just have to be as a composer, it can also be as a performer, getting involved with different ensembles. So hopefully there's plenty for you to get your teeth into. Thank you. Right. Ben, Garrett, what is the availability of practice rooms like for piano students? Oh, students, do you want to help me out with that one? Because I think you know a lot more about practice rooms. Clara, over to you.
So with the practice rooms, there's like a booking system on, I think it's like a student portal called Azimuth. So you can book them through them. And for the piano department, they actually, there's certain rooms that only pianists can book in the Anthony Hopkins. And I think there's a couple rooms in the main building as well now. So I think the availability is usually very good. I think you get like a max quota of how much you can do a day and stuff on like peak hours or off peak hours. But usually in general, it's quite good for being able to get a practice room. And you can also sometimes get like some of the galleries, or you can even get the Dora sometimes if there's no one in there. So it's quite a good range. And they're always happy to help, like student services, if you desperately need a room. They're really good.
Fab, thank you, Clara. Anyone else want to chip in? Students? No. I was just going to say.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, let's go.
I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, but I think that the more often than not the practice rooms are open to I think it closes at 10. Is that right, in the evening?
Yeah, at 10:45, I think. And
yeah, so you can really and trust me, no one wants to be in there past about 8 o'clock generally. So there's always, I don't know when for a singer, I know I found it really helpful to practice in the evening because it's just when your voice is the most warmed up, and I found that's helpful for me. So often, just going in really late, and you'll know when to leave because there's a big bell that rings. So, but there's loads of availability.
Thanks, Laurie. And similarly, for early birds amongst you, the college opens super early. So some people love to get up with the larks and get a good chunk of practice done before everybody else kind of stumbles into college. So it's possible to schedule your practice times to suit your rhythms as well. And also just to say, I don't know if you're aware, but we're an all-Steinway conservatoire. I think we're the only all-Steinway conservatoire. And that means whichever practice room you go to, you're going to have a Steinway to practice on, which I think is a pretty fantastic opportunity. So I hope that answers your question, and we'll move on quickly to the next one. Okay, Scott G, how much access SEN is available to students? Is that about, if that's a question about, Scott, is that a question about student support? If that is a student support question, I can just say that Kate Williams and our student support team are absolutely fantastic, and I know that you have a very supportive, individualized, bespoke service, which I think Eden won't mind me saying, she made some reference to that earlier on, which absolutely, I know I can back up from my perspective as well. So lots of support can be put in place. It's different when you get to conservatoire because as an adult, it's something which you have control over, you take responsibility for. We don't make decisions on your behalf. We don't talk to people without your permission. And we work with you to provide a suite of appropriate support according to your needs. And that is conveyed then confidentially to teaching staff. It's all done with discretion and respect, and that's all put in place behind the scenes to support you so that you can have your college experience and be on an absolutely even footing with everybody else. And it's hopefully, I think, a very successful scheme, the way that we work it. I don't know if anybody wants to comment.
I jump in.
Yeah, sure.
It makes sense slightly, but as someone who started their college journey off being told they were dyslexic, it was a bit of a shock, but actually I've been facilitated so well by student services. I have all the support I need. I've even emailed Kate already and said, can we have a session at the beginning of the year where we can plan everything out? I cannot say anything negative about the additional needs that college can help with. It's really good, and I honestly don't think I would have gotten through the degree without that help, and I don't feel like I'm treated any differently for it either, which is really nice. So yeah, no, thanks, Kate Williams.
and her amazing team. Yeah, thank you, Eden. Brilliant. I hope that answers. Okay, let's move on because I'm conscious that we're running out of time. I'm sorry, everyone. I'll speak quickly. Agatha, do you have a pre-decided number of places for each string instrument, or does it depend on the applicants? Totally depends on the applicants, Agatha. We don't have we don't have any quotas that we say absolutely sorry, you're not welcome. Absolutely, it's all based on you and your relationship with us and how you would work with us together here at college. So that's an easy one. Huge thank you to the students and to Rianne, and thank you very much. Have a great weekend, everybody.